All right, we're live here at the station of decapitation without your head. I'm Nasty Neil.
That would make me terrible, Troy.
And we're joined by a stand-up comedian, filmmaker, actor, podcaster, Zac Amico. It's nice to have you here.
Oh, thank you very much for having me, gentlemen. Really appreciate it.
Yeah. So I do have to mention, because it's coming up and people can donate right now, you will be in Our Man Funk.
Yes, very excited. Bill Whedon also in the film, a number of other great people, and very excited to be a part of the production.
Cool. So we'll have the link for people can donate, the Indiegogo. Did you know Bill Whedon beforehand? I know you're both in some Troma movies together.
I have worked with Bill prior. Bill did a cameo in #Shakespeare Shitstorm, where I was very excited to meet him. I'm a huge Kabuki Man fan, and it was an honor. And then he worked with my best friend Vito Trigo in some scenes on Troma's new movie, Power of Positive Murder. So I have not acted with Bill, but I've been on set with him, and he's an absolute joy.
Yeah, Bill's the man. Bill's the man.
Sweet guy.
And Vito is too. Yeah, I know him.
Vito's my absolute best friend in the world. Vito and I lived together for a number of years, and Vito was the officiant at my wedding.
Oh wow! I did not realize
when my wife moved, my to-be wife moved in. Vito was my roommate, and we figured who better to marry us than the person who's been there since the day we met.
Yeah, well,
he might Vito got his minister license and married us, and it was an honor of my life.
That's awesome. Did he get it just for that occasion?
Yes, he did.
Oh wow!
Well, that's commitment.
We had the idea of when we were tossing around ideas for the wedding. I had the silly idea of what if Vito married us dressed as Macho Man Randy Savage?
Oh yeah!
And so he bought the Macho Man outfit and did it in a full Macho Man robe.
Nice.
That is there video?
And everything, I hope.
No, we only did pictures at the wedding.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
We wanted it to be you had to be there.
Yeah, that makes sense. I still need to see a picture.
But it was because I was the best man at Vito's wedding.
Were you dressed as a wrestler then?
We were in Return to Nukem High, Volume 1 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
And we were living in a funeral home.
Oh, wow.
We got occupancy for it. I think we got occupancy for 25 people, and we had 80 people moving. And forgive my language. We were sleeping what's known in the industry as asshole to elbow. And I was playing one of the Cretans in the movie, one of Vito's henchmen. And I had the idea I should sleep at his feet in real life so that I take on the tendencies of his pet. And if you see pictures of this day of that living arrangement, it's Vito, me, and then my other best friend, Josh Potter, who played Kevin the Duck Monster. He's a comedian from New York. And it's us all in this little corner. And I had set up this weird... it was almost like when Johnny Depp lived on Hunter S. Thompson's floor.
Right.
I was obsessed with having Vito control my day. So I slept at his feet and had to get up when he got up and shit like that.
Oh, that's classic. I love it.
Method like Dennis Hopper.
Yep.
Did you know? Do you know Liam Regan at all? Because
of course I know Liam.
Cool. Yeah,
my Tromeo.
Yeah, because I bring him up.
Directors and filmmakers in England. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I love Liam. Yes, I met him when I was in England, and I always bring him up because we've had lots of people on who either had great experiences or terrible experiences with Troma, and I always quote him because he said he used his experience work with Troma as his film school. And so, from my opinion, it's always kind of like what you think you're going to get out of working with Troma is what kind of experience you're going to have.
I have put the years in, so I think I can speak to it. I did regular film school, and that was fine and dandy, and I learned a few things. I wish I had focused more on technical shit. But Troma was real. Troma is what I would call graduate school.
Okay.
And I think that's just because a few generations ago, not that like in the 70s, 80s, you didn't have to go to film school. You just went and worked on porn. And you held the boom, you did the lighting, and that was film school. And it was film school you got paid for. Now that industry doesn't exist really, and if it is, it's gonzo. There's no big production. It's not shot on film.
Right.
So now I think the real film school is working on 10-cent movies, because the real issue with filmmaking, in my opinion, is problem solving. It's not technical shit. It's not artistic shit. It's how do we solve this problem quickly, efficiently, and monetarily. And that's what you learn on a Troma set. Sometimes, because Lloyd's a producer and a director. So sometimes you got to sacrifice your vision for the bottom line. But sometimes you got to be willing to stretch the bottom line for your vision. And that's the thing that Lloyd teaches us.
So what was that first Troma film you worked on? And like, how did that all come about? Because I said you're a big Kabuki Man fan, so I assume you grew up as a Troma fan.
Grew up a hardcore Troma fan. Got Toxic Avenger on VHS when I was 12 or 13 from Suncoast Video, just to date myself.
I'm wearing my Bozo pin, actually.
And I had a small CRTV with a VHS player, VCR in it, in my room. And I watched Toxic Avenger, rewound it, and watched it again. And I walked out into the living room and told my parents, I want to make movies.
Oh, that's tremendous.
I've never changed my mind. I've kind of fallen into this comedy thing where now I get to do this other fun thing. But it's all I've ever wanted. I went to college for film, and I started making pseudo-Troma-esque movies. My favorite of which, Frankensluts, is available on watch.troma.com, Troma now, because I sold it to them. And by sold it to them, I mean I gave it to them. And I had made a feature, and I made all this silly stuff. And basically what had happened was my senior year of college, I was making this very campy slasher for an experimental film class. My assignment was to make a 10-minute movie. And I said to my professor, Amos Poe, who's actually a very famous like punk filmmaker, I said, hey, if I make a feature for the money that everyone else is doing 10 minutes for, can I stop coming to class?
Ooh.
And he went, if you give me a feature, I don't want to see you again. And that was the deal we made. And I found out Lloyd was going to speak to another class at NYU, and I weaseled my way in. And fun tip for young filmmakers. If you have an actress in the movie who's especially beautiful, or let's say big personality, charming, go, would you like to be a producer on this film? All you have to do is come with me and chat up people that I'm trying to get involved in the movie. So I did that. I brought a young lady who is very beautiful, and I said to her, ask Lloyd if he'll do a cameo in our movie.
Ooh.
He stayed for 20 minutes. We shot something real quick. He got my contact info. I sent my movies over to Troma, and I started working there. I did about a year or two, and then comedy started picking up for me. And I had to start paying my rent, so unfortunately I couldn't be a full-time Troma intern. But I put in my time there. And then they started doing auditions for Return to Newcomb High, which at one point was one movie. And I came in, and they all knew me already. And I said, I would like to die in this movie. Whatever it is, I don't care if I'm in it for 5 seconds or fucking an hour and a half. I want to die in a Troma movie. This is my audition. And I screamed. And when you audition for a Troma movie, you have a little piece of paper that you fill out, and one says, are you willing to do nudity? And I wrote, yes, absolutely. And the Lloyd Kaufman brain, I saw the spark. And he goes, will you get naked? I go, absolutely. And what I didn't tell him is that I have a genital piercing. I said I'll wait for that. That'll be my ace in the hole. You know, that'll be the trick up my sleeve.
Yeah.
So Lloyd says, "Are you willing to audition naked?" I was, yeah, of course. I don't give a shit. He calls me in and does not tell me the Village Voice is there doing an article on how Troma cast movies. I'm the first person they call in, and they want me to do the Brahmo Seltzer puke. So you take Brahmo Seltzer, which is kind of like Alka-Seltzer, and green food coloring and water, and you dump them both in your mouth, and you wait as long as you can to make as much foam as possible, and then you explode. Secret to that, eyes up, because your instinct when you vomit is to eyes down, and it looks like shit. Eyes up. So eyes up, mouth open. And he goes, will you get naked? And I just get completely naked. The next week, the Village Voice, it was 4th of July weekend, had a cover article with a picture of me naked in the middle of the Village Voice. And I went, I better get this fucking part.
Were you doing the green spew as well at that time?
What?
When they took the photo, were you doing the green
I'm
spew
puking,
at that
yeah.
time?
I'm doing
that's
the Brahmo
awesome.
puke.
That's awesome.
And at the time, I was doing a very, very, this is not a humble brag. I'm not trying to make people feel bad. I was selling comedy tickets in Times Square. Very prestigious job. And I got a call, and they said, hey, our second AD left the film. You're a comedian, right? I went, yes. And they went, how good do you think you would be at crowd control? And I'm like, it's kind of what I do for a living. And they went, we'll give you the part. Will you be second AD? Well, yeah, that sounds great. I think that was a Thursday at like 4 or 5. And they went, can you leave Monday for Buffalo? I went, for how long? And they went, indefinitely.
Wow.
And I walked up to my boss. I quit my job, took the train up to Troma, signed the contract, came back home, told the woman I was living with goodbye, and I moved to Buffalo, and we made Return to Nukem High 1 and 2.
Wow.
And what did Lloyd do once he saw the piercing?
He goes, ooh, we've never had one of those before. You saw the, most people have dollar signs, but Lloyd's not good at making money, so they were just the cent symbols.
Yeah. What did your what did your
that off his list?
Yeah, he goes, we've never had one of those before. My favorite one time when we were going to do the Cannes Film Festival to premiere Return to Nukem High 1. Troma said that they would, kind of alleviate some of the costs for me to fly out there. And I happen to be very close friends with Lloyd's old assistant, who's now an incredible film producer, Justin Martell. He's got the new Street Trash, 8 Eyes, all this fucking awesome shit on Shudder. He does Joe Bob. But this is when Justin was Lloyd's assistant. And Lloyd's partner, Michael, is going over the list of who's going to Cannes. And I'm on the phone with Justin going over my ticket information. And if you've never met Michael Hers, Lloyd's other half, he's the real show.
Okay.
He talks like, imagine if Woody Allen was in The Godfather. So I just hear...
That's an awesome visual.
While I'm on the phone, but he's cut. He's like a very in-shape guy.
Okay.
Like he's not nebbishy in person, but he's kind of got the voice. And all I hear is, who is Zac Amico? And why are we sending him to France? And Justin goes, oh, that's Zach from Return to Nukem High. He's the heavy guy. He's the nerd friend that runs around. He's in both films. And Michael goes, ooh, the fat guy with the little dick. Yeah, let's pay a lot of money to send him across the world.
I was going to use that to introduce you. The fat guy with the little dick. But
My reputation precedes me.
So, what did your parents think? You know, when you see Toxic Avenger and you say this one I want to do, and then you know you're in these movies. I don't know if they get to see the newspaper with you in the middle nude puking.
I actually was working for my dad when that Village Voice came out, and it was delivered to his office. And you know, one thing I've always said, it's been a bumpy road with both film and comedy, trying to get my parents to get it. My mom, I don't think is ever really gonna get the movie thing. Like, I actually just took her to the premiere of Brandon Basham's new film, which is really, really funny. Bring on the Damned, and I'm in that.
Cool.
And it was the first time I think she got it because she saw 500 people watching it and reacting.
Yeah.
My dad was a little more like savvy. Like, he had taken me to Rocky Horror and shit like that.
Okay.
So I think it was a stretch for him when I was young. And then when I was working for free for years, he didn't get it. But then when I think he saw the amount of people and then the work you get from it and kind of the community you build, he realized that was like the work you put it. Because I come from a very blue collar upbringing, and it was very hard for people in my family to realize what an internship was. Like, oh, you mean you work for free? Yeah, for the better part of a decade, yes. But now that they see audiences, they really get it. Back in the day, it was a very tough sell. But I think the passion of it, and then seeing the fans come out and want pictures and want, like, you know, FaceTime with you and shit, they're starting to get it.
Yeah.
My dad was way quicker. My mom now is very much like, oh, this is a sweet thing. I just, you know, am very offended by the content.
So when you go to Cannes with a movie like Shakespeare's Shitstorm, how do the other people treat you? Like the people with like more highbrow movies?
So actually, we did not go to Cannes for Shitstorm. Troma and Cannes are no longer a package deal.
Right.
Troma was kind of Cannes for decades. They stopped going, and we went back for Return to Nukem High. And you know, it was funny. One thing was a lot of people missed it. So a lot of people were very excited to see the chaos again. It's very corporatized, and it's very not fun. It's just big movies. There's not a lot of celebration. People were very excited. However, after a string of, I did not go the next year, but there were a string of terrorist attacks in Europe, and Cannes kind of used that as fodder to say no masks, no face paint, no costumes, no picket signs, no advertising. So they kind of used that as a way to strangle their control over the festival. So I will say my experience was very fun. However, in the last years, I'm told that it's kind of just business as usual, and they're very much discouraging independent stuff from promoting itself.
So you mentioned the power of positive murder, which they're saying Lloyd himself says it's probably going to be his last feature. So knowing that, what does that mean to you? And can you say anything about your role, or can you not really talk about the movie yet?
As far as I know, this is the boss's last movie. It's his noir film. However, this is the third film I've worked on that has been his last movie.
Yeah, when we had Lloyd on a few times before Shakespeare Shitstorm, he kept saying it was his last movie.
Take it for what you will. I am never one to question him or his narrative.
Right.
And I love him dearly, and anything he says is gold. I have thankfully retired from my behind-the-scenes roles in Troma, and now am what I refer to as a day player. I have collected enough silly credits that now I just get to show up and be in the movie, which was not always my privilege. So I am in what I would call the sweet spot.
Mm-hmm.
If the crew has to get up at 6, I have to get up at 9, and damn, that's nice. And so and then for this movie, Lloyd's very kind when he makes a movie. He sends me the script and says, "What do you want to do?" And on this one, there was a bit part of a movie theater employee, and I just saw it being it was a get in, get out role. Like I knew it would probably take about 2-3 days, but I knew there was a lot because Lloyd really lets me fuck around with improv, and he really trusts me because the way I'm kind of trained is more of like a sitcom and 1 hour comedy style of shooting. So I am very improv heavy.
Mm-hmm.
And Lloyd lets me, if I get it once, he'll give me a few to fuck around. And I knew this was a part where I could kind of write my own small narrative for a small part and take what is kind of a throwaway part and have it have an arc. And that's what I did. So I work at the movie theater, but I'm acting with one of my other close friends, Stuart Keycheck, who's been in Return to Nukem High, Shitstorm, all that. As well as I took the opportunity, the movie that's being shown is Sergeant Kabuki Man in the movie theater.
Oh, nice.
So I said, any chance I can get, I'm just going to start talking about how bad the director of the movie is. And see how long it takes Lloyd to notice. So there's just takes of me like pouring popcorn, being like, this fucking untalented son of a bitch doesn't know which way to point the fucking camera. And then at some point, somebody's like, look, he's making fun of you. And he's like, yeah, it's great.
On Facebook, Faith Ivy says this was back to when you were explaining how to puke on camera, and she says, "Awesome! I've got to try that." So you're educating the fans out there.
Yeah, so you can do it with Alka-Seltzer now. Brahmo Seltzer is not quite as easy to get. You have to special order it. Basically, take an Alka-Seltzer, take the packet, crush it up in the packet so that it's powder, and then use more food coloring than you think you need in the other cup. And then all I can say is so powder, liquid, and your mouth's going to feel like it's going to explode. Hold it as long as you can. And as I said, don't put your head down because that's your instinct. Head up, eyes open wide, and it looks awesome. Also, you can do it with red food coloring if somebody needs to puke blood.
All right. Yeah, see?
I'm getting that to memory myself.
Exactly. Yeah. Billy Coyne says hello. Who you will also be in Our Man Funk and doing the effects. So, stand-up comedy. Like, was that something you always wanted to do as well, or like, how did you fall into it?
My comedy career is completely by accident.
Oh.
I've always loved stand-up. I've been obsessed with it. I think enjoyed it and wanted to do it, but I was terrified of it. And when I was in college, my senior year, I happened to take a class called The History of New York Comedy.
Oh, wow.
And my final was either a 20-page paper or 5 minutes at a real comedy club.
Wow.
And I chose the latter out of laziness, not realizing how much more stressful it would be. And I had to go up. And in the person running the show was a real comedy manager who ran another room. And he took me aside and he said, hey, is this something you would really want to try? Because obviously I sucked. But he saw something that was like, oh, this guy understands the bones of this. And I said yes. And I got to do a few more little like showcase things with that. And then I became a doorman at that person's comedy club. And that's actually why I had quit Troma, because I couldn't do both. Because I was working all night barking people in for comedy shows. And what I did on for those years, it's a very New York thing. So not every comedy community has this, but there's something called a check spot. Are you guys familiar with what I'm talking about?
I'm not.
I think so. But
so in New York, what are called showcase shows, where it's not like opener, feature, headliner. In New York, it'll be 7 comics doing 15 minutes each. In between the 2 last guys, who are usually the strongest comedians, somebody has to go up and do stand-up while everyone pays their bill.
Oh, okay.
So they drop the check on you. It's called the check spot. And that essentially is comedy boot camp. Much like Troma would be film school. I was also at the time going through comedy boot camp, which is I'm trying to eke out jokes I've written while people are trying to do math on a place that just ripped them off.
Right.
That's what comedy clubs are. They're small boxes that overcharge you for alcohol because they're only open for 4 hours a night and there's no other way for them to stay open.
So you're getting great reactions from the jokes, is what you're saying.
A lot of people will yell the price of their bill at you. People will throw their bill at you. People will throw their bottles and cans at you. The candle, the whatever's on the table. Anything that's not nailed down might come at you, depending on the night and depending on the situation.
Yeah. So what do you learn
that's how I got into it.
What do you learn from an experience like that?
Just to plow through and try to be funny. And I think it's more of nerves. Like, I've heard that you don't know who you are on stage till you've done it 100 times. Well, that's a real quick way to get your 100 in.
Oh, I bet.
And then you get your 1,000 in. And then you get your 5,000 in.
Oh.
Because you've been doing it a few times a night for a few years. And then all of a sudden, I don't really give a shit if somebody says something. Or if I gotta, respond.
Skin on something like that, yeah.
Yeah, but you gotta take your licks. You take a lot of L's on the way up.
I bet.
I'll tell you that. You have a lot of what I would refer to as the cold shower, where you're holding your knees. Yeah, you take a lot of crying showers where you go, I don't think I should do this.
So, have you read I assume you've read the script for Our Man.
Yeah, of course.
Because your character has a lot of very graphic scenes. So, but you're cool with that, I assume. And what did you think of the script when you read it?
I'm very excited. I love a revenge movie. My favorite thing about the pandemic was I decided that I was going to walk my wife through certain film franchises that I knew we would never have the time to get through if the world wasn't shut down.
Mm-hmm.
Number 1, we did all of Fast and the Furious.
All right.
Okay. Which I will say, rewarding.
Really? I've never watched them, so maybe I should have done the same thing.
I'll tell you what, by the end, you're pretty in. If you get if you 100% just let it wash over you, you have a good time. And the other one was we did all the Death Wishes.
Nice.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And when we watched that first one, she's like, why would I ever want to watch this? By the time we got to 5, she was like, I'm fucking in.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And they get so off. I mean, Danny Trejo dies with exploding cannoli.
I don't remember that one.
Yes, it's a very bad mannequin of him dying of exploding cannoli. And,
that must be like 5 or something like that.
Yeah,
I don't remember that one at all.
And so when I read it, I love a revenge movie. And in order for a revenge movie to work, the bad guy has to really be heinous.
Oh, yeah.
So I think the way the script is right now, that's how it kind of has to be for it to work.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I'm pretty okay with doing terrible things under the guise of this is a character. I understand what fiction is. I'm a sweet boy. And also, I've done horrible things on film before. And I'm the first person to make sure everybody's okay, everybody's comfortable. I've worked with children on movies, and I'm the one going, "Are you scared? Are you okay? You know, mom's right here." I'm very I can break pretty quick from doing horrendous shit, and I think I have the stomach for it.
So now that you do both, since you go to Troma, you make movies, you're in movies, you become successful in comedy. Do you have a preference? What do you see yourself as, or are they like all these things are things you do?
To be completely honest, to me, this is all one goal, which is to be a. I've never wanted to be a celebrity. I want to be a personality.
Nice.
And to me, there's people that kind of show up in everything. For my most recent example would be the recently departed Leslie Jordan, who is the little gay. He's a little gay Southern guy. He was on Will and Grace. But he would also show up in like fucking Full Moon movies.
Oh yeah.
Or be on Drag Race. Or
yep.
And to me, that's what I am.
Drag Race. Yeah.
I'll show up in comedy stuff. I show up in Troma movies, and then I do professional wrestling stuff.
Nice.
And I do commentary for professional wrestling, and I manage pro wrestling. So to me, the idea that I keep showing up in all these worlds, that's what I want. It's like the idea of a presence more than a fame.
So what got you into wrestling?
Oh, wrestling's my favorite thing. My earliest memory is sitting with my grandfather watching wrestling. I think I'm 4 at the time. And I told him I was going to grow up to be Mr. Perfect's tag team partner. Which, by the way, really tells you what a heel I've been. Because I grew up loving Owen Hart. And I loved bad guys. Which I think kind of spills into my movie shit where I always like playing villains. But yeah, wrestling's always had a big hold on me. And a number of years ago, I met some wrestling bookers who were comedy fans. And I do a show. So I do a festival every year. We're going to be doing it in November this year in New Orleans. And it's called Skankfest.
Yeah.
And it's based off a podcast called The Legion of Skanks. I've done it every year. This is going to be our 8th or 9th year. And I do a show called The Naked Roast. We've done it every year, where it's one-on-one insult competitions. And I host it, and then there's 3 judges. But I'm naked, the competitors are naked, and the judges are naked. There's no phones allowed in the building. We do yonder
There's nowhere
beds.
to put them. Yeah.
There's never been footage of it, but we've done it for 8 years.
Wow.
And it's super fun.
Is that also in New Orleans, or is that in New York?
We did it for a few years in New York, and then we did then we did Houston, and then we did the last 3 years in Vegas.
Okay, where it's
and
warmer,
this is going to be our first year in New Orleans. And one of the things I do for it is I do wrestling entrances.
Nice.
Like this year I did the Undertaker. Last year I did Bray Wyatt with the lantern. But the year I had done the Sandman from ECW.
Oh, nice.
So I came out and I chugged a beer and I cracked it over my head. And I bled. And there were wrestling bookers there. And they went, "Hey, would you want to come hang out at our indie wrestling show? Because we would love to use you as a character of some type." And I just started showing up. I became like an authority figure in that company. Then they trained me.
Oh, wow.
And by trained, let's put big quotation marks in there. They walked me through how to get my ass kicked. And I started becoming a manager. Then I started managing on the indies. And now I actually work with Juggalo Championship Wrestling.
Oh, nice.
The Insane Clown Posse's company. Because I did the Gathering this year. It was my dream come true gig. Was to do stand-up at the Gathering. I've always wanted to do it. And they did a pay-per-view for their wrestling company. And they had asked my very good friend who was doing comedy there as well, Big Jay Okerson, would you do commentary on the pay-per-view? And he goes, "I will, but Zach loves wrestling. Zach is obsessed with wrestling." So they had me do it too. And this year, Violent J from Insane Clown Posse, who's become my very close friend, texted me and he's like, "Hey, you know how you did commentate for us? Would you want to do that for real?" And they just started taking me on tour.
Oh wow, that's
great.
amazing.
Yeah.
So I've been with them since the beginning of the year. I did a 8-day stretch with them. I've done a few weekends, and I leave next weekend for another stretch with them. We have a show on YouTube called JCW Lunacy, and then we do pay-per-views on the Triller app. But we have a weekly wrestling show. We tape 2 days a month. We tape 2 episodes a night, and then we do a pay-per-view every few months. And I've been on tour with ICP and them for a couple months now.
Oh wow, yeah. Because I also do a wrestling podcast every week, and I've had Violent J on the show and stuff. So I will watch that and talk about it.
It's very silly, and I get to do all the dumb shit that I love to. We have all the funniest gimmicks. So we've got. I'm sure you're familiar with Luigi Primo.
Oh yeah, the pizza guy. I'm a huge fan.
Oh yeah, yep.
We've got Stephen Flo, the Pearl Jam wrestler.
I did not know him.
We've got Cocaine.
I'm a big fan of the Cocaine videos as well.
The video you've seen where you go, that's got to be Cocaine. Cocaine goes fucking crazy. That's me.
Yeah. Oh,
okay.
All right.
Yeah, and it's just a blast. The roster's excellent. Everyone's super fun. It's like one of the most rewarding gigs I've ever had.
Yeah, I thought it was funny. Glenn Jacobs, Kane. He wasn't too bad about it, but I did think it was funny. He was like, "Well, he doesn't represent things like that I think are good, whatever." And I'm thinking, but Kane did. Like, you were like having sex with horses.
The guy that set fucking that electrified Shane's balls.
Yeah, that's totally fine. Yeah,
you could rape Lita, but don't do drugs.
Yeah,
right. It was very funny to me. So that's cool though. I'm a big wrestling fan. Who were your favorite wrestlers when you were growing up?
So I was a huge Owen Mark, and I still am to this day. Then it turned to Foley.
Yeah.
No shock there. His book came out when I was in 6th grade, and he just became my hero of all heroes. And then when I give my list, it doesn't make sense. Like to me, it's very indicative of what I like, but nobody belongs on it together. So I'm going Dusty, Vader.
No, I think Vader's the best big man of all time. So.
Kurt Angle.
All right, yeah.
I have to argue with that one.
Necro Butcher.
All right,
okay, that's a little different.
William Regal.
Oh yeah.
Oh wow, nice. That's
man.
That's what's fun about wrestling, though. It's all different stuff.
A absolute wrestling nerd.
Mm-hmm.
I love the Walking the King's Road Japanese shit.
Oh yeah.
But those are like, as far as my guys. Yeah, that's good. I mean, I could watch Regal do anything. Kurt Angle. I mean, I could watch Kurt Angle fucking cook an omelet.
Yep.
And be interested. Necro Butcher, I just have in my heart because my favorite match of all time is Necro Butcher Samoa Joe.
They really pounded the shit out of each other.
Yeah.
It's so funny when I say, every time I say it to people, everyone's like, "Yeah, that's probably one of the best." Like, it's how I introduce people to wrestling.
Oh yeah.
I show them that, and they're like, "Is this what wrestling's like?" I'm like, "No." Not at all. This is two mentally ill people trying to kill each other. And then I mean Dusty, I could listen to Dusty read the phone book.
Bill Whedon is in here. He says, love the convo. It's good to see you, Bill. Billy Coyne says he loves your episode of Kill Tony.
Oh, thank you, buddy.
Is that the one with Flair? I
did have one with Ric Flair, yeah, and it went bad.
Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah.
I've had other episodes of Kill Tony that were okay.
Mm-hmm.
Tony's the man. I absolutely, Tony's done so much for me. I will never be able to thank Tony enough for what he's done for my career. I think Rick agreed to do the show, and there was a miscommunication.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, and this is going to be a little comedy inside baseball, so I apologize to your fans that are not stand-up or comedy savvy. He was in a room with myself, who's at the bottom of this list, Louis J. Gomez, my best friend, Mark Normand, Ari Shaffir, Shane Gillis, and Tony. That is not a group of people that I would have the laughing stop. Because now you're looking at 6 monsters who need laughs all the time. And Rick, I think, in a very short version of it, did not completely comprehend the concept of the show.
Yeah, I don't think wrestlers really mix well with roast kind of things. I don't know.
I've written on a number of roasts for wrestlers. It's a very tough sell.
Yeah. I bet it. You'd have to have
some
the right
of them
person.
just don't like the idea of being made fun of, and I get they're alphas and like they work their whole life very hard. This is not. They don't want a bunch of fat, ugly guys coming up and telling them this thing. I get it.
I bet if you had like Foley or Piper, I bet it would be different. I bet that would be.
Yeah, you'd be surprised.
Oh really? Oh,
I think Foley.
Foley does not like rude humor.
Oh.
In my knowledge.
Okay.
But yeah, so Rick, this is all I'll say. Before we went on, we're in the green room, and Rick said to Tony, "When's the Q&A?" And Tony went, "There isn't a Q&A. It's like the Gong Show. We're going to have people come out, do a minute, and then the judges make fun of them." He goes, "Okay, great. Then a Q&A about wrestling?" And he went, "No." And he goes, "So when do I talk about wrestling?"
Oh, no.
And Tony went, "You don't." And he went, "Okay." And then I watched all that information leave.
Oh.
And I watched him open up the show listing all the wrestlers that had died that year, which is a great way to start a comedy show.
Yeah.
And he really just gets him going. Then does not want us to talk. So eventually the other 5 of us, as I've said, went feral. And I don't remember it this way, but apparently Ari Shaffir looked me in the eyes, and I had communicated to him with my eyes the term, "Let's light this motherfucker up."
Oh, no.
And yeah, Rick didn't last a lot longer after that.
No. Yeah, I've seen the. Yeah,
I'll have to check that out.
It's worth watching.
It's just a sad state of affairs.
Mm-hmm.
He leaves. They cut out like an hour.
Oh,
because he just was a little. This is gonna sound crazy to you guys. I think he might have been drunk.
Really? Wow.
I know, Rick. I know.
What?
Unheard of.
When I saw that video of him arguing with the pizza place, I was like, finally, you guys have seen it. Because I watched that. I watched him yell at security like that when he got there. Dude, this is... I don't want to make a career out of shitting on Rick.
Sure.
Because he is a legend.
Yeah.
But when Rick showed up, it's going to be another 15 minutes. And Rick went, "Would you tell Joe Rogan to wait 15 minutes? No. And I would go, "No. He's worth $300 million and he owns the building. You have 8 ex-wives and you can't afford to pay for the NWA title that you stole." So no, I would not put you in the same fucking class as Joe. You fucking delusional old fuck.
Do you think horror people would lend better to a roast, like Lloyd Kaufman, because he said he was he had fun when you were making fun of him when you're doing the movie? Do you think something like that would work?
I think it depends on the person.
Yeah,
I don't know how great Lloyd would do it. We have entertained the idea of doing a Lloyd roast 2 or 3 times, and I get the feeling he doesn't want it. So I have to respect that.
Yeah.
as a comic, I have to learn the lesson that not everybody comes from the world of we make fun of people because we love them.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
the highest
roast
compliment.
is very,
Yeah.
yeah, roast is
Excuse
very.
me, that I can give my friends is that we shit on each other. Like, I say the meanest shit to the people I care about the most. But that's also the industry I'm in. I think it would be a lot of horror people. It might be a bit. And then especially, like, if it got offensive or over the top, like, not everybody can disconnect.
Right.
Like, to me, no matter what joke is ever said about me, I can go, those are just words. It's not real. I know it's not real. I know it's a joke somebody wrote. Sometimes, I know we were going to do a roast of Stan Lee at one point. And Lloyd was going to be on it. And I think I was going to be on it. And just the feedback I got in general just seemed like, I don't know how good this is going to go. I did a
I don't
roast
know if
of,
he had a great sense of humor, especially about himself, because I remember at a
yes,
comic
but I think he
convention-
also wants to control the narrative of what's being made fun of.
Comic convention years ago, and somebody had Stan Lee as a cunt on their shirt, and he found no humor in that whatsoever.
Yeah, I did a roast a few years ago of Busted Open Radio. So it was Dave LaGreca. What an
Bubba
amazing
Ray.
guy. Couldn't say nice stuff things about him. Mark Henry lights up when I say lights up a fucking room. And the guy is entertainment personified. You can't not smile when Mark Henry's in a room.
Oh, cool.
Tommy Dreamer would give you the shirt off his fucking back. I got that job as a writer. Tommy Dreamer gave up his first class ticket so that we could both fly coach and I could host the roast.
Oh, wow.
That's the kind of guy Tommy Dreamer is. Bubba Ray Dudley was also there.
I'm pretty sure he was on one of those.
Did I say everything I just needed to say?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah.
That's who popped in my mind right away when you brought up Busted Open. I was like, I know one of these guys is not gonna take well
the Ric
to
Flair roast too.
Yeah.
And,
They're from Kayfabe.
I'll give you a little inside. And I had friends on that roast, and I wrote on it. The prompter broke, and the person who went before Bubba Dudley at the Ric Flair roast bombed. Because he didn't know his material and he didn't bring his shit up with him, and the prompter froze.
Oh.
Now, I know Bubba had a set, but he saw that prompter freeze, went up and said, "We're not here to make fun of Ric Flair. We're here to honor him," and toasted him, and sat back down.
Wow.
And hey, you know.
It's a great roast.
I would never say what a fucking pussy move. But I think others might.
Yeah, that's exactly what you want from a roast. You want
you want somebody to somberly raise a glass.
So, yeah, it's a good time.
Can we go over that list of dead wrestlers again? You know.
Oh, and they do not like jokes about their dead friends.
Oh, I bet. They
get real bummed real quick. You really gotta fucking watch those. My joke on the LaGreca roast that I like the most was we have Bully Ray and Tommy Dreamer here. They're both ECW originals. The ECW originals, to me, are my Beatles.
Yeah.
They did a lot of drugs. Half of them are dead. And the only one that can still sell tickets is Paul.
We have someone on Facebook who just said something about Bubba Ray. I'll just say it wasn't very nice.
I believe it. The other one that I really loved, and this is very inside baseball, so I apologize. You have to be a wrestling fan for it. Was Bubba Ray Dudley's here, who you guys might remember as Mr. Brooke Hogan. Bubba, marrying you on TNA TV is the worst car wreck any of Hulk Hogan's kids have ever been involved in. When Hulk Hogan found out his daughter was going to marry one of the Dudley boys, he said, "Which one?"
I love it, but so yeah, all right. So maybe not horror or wrestlers for Rhodes. Maybe it doesn't. It just
Yeah,
doesn't work.
it's a delicate comedy. It's a I don't know, like my one of my favorite roasts is the Bob Saget one,
Yeah, yeah.
and he's crying the whole time because this is his dream
Mhm.
Oh,
to see his friends do it, like to be mean to him. To me, like it's an like I love it.
oh
I
yeah.
love when people write great jokes about me. But I also get like it's a different way to come up and a different ego and a different personality you have to have. So I totally get it and I respect it, and I wouldn't want to break balls on somebody that didn't enjoy it.
Yeah.
I guess
So
maybe you have to be like a stand-up fan too, because I remember like Dave Attell insulted me when I'm just in the crowd, and that was one of the special moments of my life. I thought that was awesome.
Well, I'll tell you another person on that roast busted open was Nick Aldis, and he totally got it,
Oh, did he? See, I'm
killed,
surprised about
and then
that.
came up to me to tell me he was a comedy. He knew comedians, like he knew what he was doing.
Awesome.
I do think maybe younger wrestlers would probably have a better.
The younger guys are more savvy. Dolph does it. Colt is involved in comedy. In my experience now with JCW, a lot of the indie guys, I'm not saying that I'm famous to them, but they're aware of what I do.
Yeah.
Because I think there's more of a crossover.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So a lot of like a lot of the indie guys will know me from various comedy shows.
Yeah. And I just, a lot of people who wrestled in like the 80s or previous, they come from an era where like they're still going to look at fans as people outside of wrestling as marks. No matter how nice they are to you, that's still kind of what they think. And
Yeah, and I
and
totally
they don't
get it.
really
And I have
want the
no
mark,
respect for
making fun
everybody.
of you or anything like that. It's just a different time, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. So besides obviously Our Man Funk, are you working on anything currently?
I got a ton of movies in the can. So currently I've got coming out Bring on the Damned, Secret of Cuck Island, Curse of the Werdeer, which I'm in all of. We've got Shakespeare Shitstorm. And then just my own personal stuff. I've got a bunch of stand-up coming up.
Nice.
Oh, very cool. Yeah.
And I've got Our Man Funk coming up as well.
Yeah.
As well as all my dates with JCW. So it's a pretty full calendar.
Yeah, your dance card's pretty full.
Yeah. Cuck Island, is that a narrative or is that a documentary or?
Secret of Cuck Island is a found footage expose, and it was shot by our very good friends Reeves Elliott and John Bergio, who both worked on Shitstorm and Werdeer. And it is a one-shot expose on a cult that is trying to take the masculinity out of men. And it's very brilliantly shot. They did it for no money. And I think it's so fucking funny. I'm only in a few minutes of it. But like the creativity these guys have and the tech, like this next group of guys are so much technologically more skilled than my class of guys were. Like the way they can get shots on their phone and sneak it into the movie. Like there's a shot in Cuck Island where one of the characters runs across the subway tracks with trains coming at them. And I went, how the fuck did you do that? And then we put our iPhones on sticks and edited it together with the footage of him running. Wow. I never would have saw the edit.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah.
But yeah, it's a very funny movie.
Yeah, I'm into weird movies. So
it's about an hour long. It's super gross. It's super silly. I really like it.
You had a soul before,
Yeah. Do you make? I know you made shorts. Do you direct or write anything yourself currently, or lately?
I spend a lot of my time doing Punch Up.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of stuff out there that has my stink on it that not necessarily I am credited with. Okay. I am hoping to do a feature in the next couple of years. First, I'm going to be doing, hopefully, my first special next fall.
Oh,
And
nice.
then after that, I'm shooting to maybe do a movie. I have like 2 or 3 scripts that are ready and a few other outlines. But whatever I can convince somebody to throw money at first. But yeah, I also do punch up on a lot of other scripts. So certain things when they come out, if it sounds like a joke I made, it might have been, as well as consider that with a lot of the roast you see as well. That might have been a side job of me.
Who, in your opinion, are like the modern best roast comedians?
Oh, Mark Normand, Sam Morrill, Joe List. Obviously, Tony is incredible. I am particularly fond of a number of other people. I think Nikki Glazer is really strong. As far as the modern crop, there's certain people that do it their own way, which is very funny. I would put Shane Gillis on that list. And then young roast comics. There's a girl named Kim Congdon that's excellent. Robin Tran, Keith Carey, and I'm trying to think who I worked with. I just did the roast of Whitney Cummings and Burt Kreischer. And there were a few really good sets on that. I mean, Whitney's always been incredible, and now she's the funniest she's ever been.
And someone on Twitter wants me to ask, what are your opinions on comedian Ray DeVito?
That's an internet thing.
Yeah, I've
Ray's a very sweet guy who's very ambitious, and we'll leave it at that.
Yeah. He's a good
Ray's
man,
a very, very sweet boy who works very, very hard, and he's got a. This is what's called in comedy a backwards compliment. He's got a lot of hustle.
Oh, okay.
He's a good egg.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
Yeah. All right, it's very cool. Well, it was awesome to have you on, Zach. We'd love to have you back sometime if you were up
Absolutely,
for it.
anytime you want me, boys.
All right. Well, next week when Zach returns, but we'll have you anytime you'd like to come back. If you have something to plug or just want to come in and talk about some weird horror movies or whatever.
Absolutely. Can I just plug? Follow me on @Zach is not funny on Instagram. Coming up, I will be with JCW Wrestling in Las Vegas, Tucson, and Albuquerque. Then, if you go on my Instagram, it's Zach is not funny. I'm doing a Canadian tour, including Montreal and Gananoque. Then I'm back. I'm in Colorado doing stand-up at Gnarly's the night before the Troma Film Festival, where we will be screening Shitstorm, Curse of the Weredeer, and Bring on the Damned. Then I'm back out on the road in Illinois and Ohio with JCW Wrestling.
All right. Sounds good.
Yeah, no rest for you, my friend.
Yeah. I'd love to see you in person sometime.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. Let me know when you're around, buddy.
All right. Sounds good.
All right. Let me know when I'm in your area.
Yeah. Well, we're in Massachusetts, so not that far away.
I'll run into you very soon then. Be safe, okay, guys?
You too.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thanks,
Take care. Have a good one, gentlemen.
All right. Oh, it was great. Zac Amico.
Yes. Too cool. That was most excellent.
Yeah.
All right. May I refill?
You may. I'll play us a trailer here. We'll come back. We'll talk some stuff. I'll play Our Man Funk here. We'll see how we can help make Our Man Funk a reality.
Very good.
Hi there, folks. I'm Bill Wheaton. Not at all. Please just come in. I hope you won't mind if I don't get up.
The time has come.
I'm Lisa Gay, and most of you know me through Troma.
That's right, Dean.
However, we do have a plan to get the Toxic Avenger to Japan.
Mark Torgel here, Melvin the Mop Boy from the original Toxic Avenger.
I'm international superstar Zac Amico, star of many Troma films.
You guys wanted to see me naked, right?
Pro wrestling personality,
Total utter annihilation.
comedian, podcaster, and overall handsome boy.
I'm AJ Cutler from the Once and Future Smash.
And we're here to make Our Man Funk, an unapologetic, gore-soaked family revenge comedy with guts and laughs and a whole lot of heart. But to make this movie as wild and outrageous as it deserves to be, we need your help. Indie filmmaking is about passion and blood and explosive butt.
I can't tell you what that means, but it's disgusting.
Coca-Cola gave me $50,000 as long as I promised not to show Bill Whedon naked. Fuck you! We're showing Bill Whedon naked.
But only you have the power to make it all happen.
And let's be real here. Where else can you see an 80-year-old man shove a bar of soap down some punk's throat?
You got it. Nowhere. Nowhere but here. Here is where that shit can happen.
Who is Funk?
Funk isn't just an old man.
Well, Funk just isn't a vigilante.
Funk's an old man vigilante.
So listen up, folks. We're gonna make the most outrageous,
The bloodiest, funniest,
Most unforgettable
Family revenge comedy of the year.
Open up your pocketbooks and pledge now. Let's clean up these filthy fucking streets with Our Man Funk.
You're pregnant.
That can't be right. He always wears a condom.
Oh, shit.
Have you been lying to me?
Whoa, wait a second.
Do you remember when I told you that my body doesn't work the same as everyone else's? By the way, I should tell you a few things about my dad. He's a bit particular.
I was more of a cat person. Are you gay? Well, not that your dad and I see eye to eye.
He doesn't really like anyone.
Oh, hey! It's time.
Dad! No, Dad!
If we don't feed it, it will start sucking on her blood to survive.
You can't give birth to this thing.
Of course not! I've been freaking out since this morning.
I really thought you would grow up normal.
You ain't family!
You are the turd in the way.
Your mom really died giving birth to me?
We have a huge rodent problem.
What the fuck are you?
There's a legend around here that there's something out there in those woods.
The Hawkman?
"28 people have gone missing up there in the past 20 years. No bodies have ever been found. These people believe there's some sort of madman out in those woods.
That sounds scary as hell.
And that's why this is the perfect project.
Now, what is it you think you know about them woods that's got you wanting to make a documentary? Butcher's Bluff?
Be careful what you wish for. This is an easy A. I just need y'all's help filming it.
Do yourselves a favor and don't go running around up there on that bluff.
Hey, Hoagie! Come on out, you fat piece of bacon!
Don't be scared of someone
story?
There ain't nothing out in them woods except death.
You need to call the cops now.
Doesn't look good. It never does.
Boom! Butcher's Bluff. All right. So we watched some trailers there. We watched Fetus. We had the director of that on last year. The movie's actually
just
coming
out
out
this year. I mean,
yeah,
this
it's coming out. Yeah. The trailer just came out. He sent it to us, so that movie's coming out. Butcher's Bluff, Screamboat Willie, which I think looks really fun, honestly. And also coming out soon is I think it comes out this week is I Heart Willie, which we're gonna have the director of that on soon too.
Okay.
That's the other Steamboat Willie horror film.
Oh.
There's multiple Steamboat Willie horror films coming out.
I'm down with it.
All right.
Hopefully some are good.
Yes, I honestly think both of them look good, in my opinion.
I'll give them a shot. I had an open mind going to see the Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah, I'm looking
I have
forward.
no problem with people doing this. Just I want it to be good. That's all I ask.
So if anyone out there would like to send me cool ties or buttons, I will wear them on the show here. Just send those to Neil Jones, P.O. Box 415, Sandwich, Massachusetts, 02563. The buttons, they could promote your movie. I guess the tie could too.
That's true.
Or your band or whatever, and I'll wear it here on the show.
I dig it.
So Gene Hackman passed away.
Yeah, that was unfortunate, but he was, 95?
Yeah, so this, people are like trying to think like something happened. It's like, well, he is almost 100 years old, guys. But I know they were saying like it's they said that the police think that there's no foul play, but it's weird because both him and his wife and their dog were dead. But I don't know.
But if something happened to him and his wife, I guess the dog was outside in its kennel.
Oh,
so, I
okay.
mean, the poor dog might have starved to death, depending on
Right.
how long the two of them were dead.
Yeah, because they said that they were when they found him, they were dead for some time.
Yep.
It's also when they say, oh, and there's like a prescription like medication there. I'm like, well, she's in her 60s and he's in his 90s. I'm pretty sure they're both on a lot of prescription medication.
Oh, I would think so. Yeah.
But too bad. I mean, Gene Hackman, one of my favorites. A lot of the people from that era is, not too many left. I didn't realize he was almost 100.
Yeah, that is kind of crazy. Because, I mean, I can't remember the last movie I saw him in. I think
it was the comedy there.
The Birdcage? Was that it?
No. Let me look it up quick. I think it was his last movie. It was funny though. I watched a little video and they're like best known for Bonnie and Clyde, and I was like,
whoa, wasn't that his first movie?
Like I wouldn't if someone asked me like Gene Hackman movies, like I would never think, oh yeah, Bonnie and Clyde.
No.
He's
I think
not
that
even
might
the
have been
main
like
guy
his
in it.
first film. Because that was 65 or 66 maybe?
Yeah, I'm not sure, but still, it's like he's not even the main guy in it or anything.
Yeah.
I thought that was I mean, I would think
I
like
think
I would
Gene
even think
Wilder's in
Superman.
that movie too, and you don't even think of him in there.
No, like honestly, I think I would think of Superman before I think of Bonnie and Clyde.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
that
like
wouldn't be
the
top
French Connection, or
That's what I would say. The French
Yeah.
Connection was his big movie. The Royal Tenenbaums. I thought that was his last movie, but he did do a few after that. He did Behind Enemy Lines, Runaway Jury, and Welcome to Mooseport. Apparently, that was his final film, Welcome to Mooseport.
And what year was that one?
2004.
Oh, okay. Oh, so it had been a while then.
Yeah, over 20 years. Him and Ray Romano.
Oh, okay.
So he must have
One movie I
retired
always
when he
loved
hit
him in-
75.
Oh, okay. was Unforgiven. I just thought he was so good in that
Yeah,
movie.
he's great in Unforgiven. I don't know if he's really been in a horror movie or not.
Not that I can think of.
No. Mississippi. I'm just looking at Quick and the Dead, French Connection, Unforgiven, Mississippi Burning, Superman. Yeah, Conversation. Yeah, I don't think he's been in a horror movie. So, but we'll still say rest in peace, even if he didn't do a horror film.
Oh yeah.
Oh, he was in the Birdcage. I didn't even realize he was in the Birdcage. So you mentioned it.
Yeah, he was the I think he was like a senator or something like that.
He's in Young Frankenstein.
Oh, he was in Young Frankenstein?
I didn't know he was, but it's listed here, yeah. I don't know.
I wonder who he is in
all
that.
role in it.
Hmm.
Young Frankenstein. I'm gonna look. I gotta look it up now.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Gene, he's the blind. Oh, he's the blind man. That's right.
That's right. Yep, that's true. Wow, he's great in that one too. I had forgotten all about it.
Yeah, yeah.
Come back. I was about to make espresso. You know, it's just great.
So I haven't seen The Monkey yet, but it looks great, and I've heard wonderful things about it.
Yep.
But so look what the Asylum put out.
Wow.
They even call them mockbusters now.
Really?
So at least
I
they
like
realize.
I saw one trailer and it had morticians in it, and they said that like they loved like all the death scenes in it. They thought it was great. I was like, wow, that's a cool audience to poll.
I haven't really seen any bad reviews, and it seems like people it's like all different horror fans, like people who like a little more highbrow stuff, and then people who like really crazy stuff. So I'm really I don't know anything about the original story, honestly. I don't know if I think it's a short story.
Yeah, I think it's like a 20-page or something like that.
Okay, so probably not really too much to make a movie off of, which you know can be fine, can be bad, but you know, if it's not necessarily like, oh, this doesn't stick right to the story.
Yeah. I think like, but the premise is pretty solid, like in the story, and you know where the monkey just like kills people, basically. You know.
So it's not Monkey Shines.
No, hell no.
I like Monkey Shines.
I haven't seen it in years.
I haven't either. Maybe I wouldn't. Maybe you'll like it more, and I'll like it less.
That's true. I'll watch it and say, "Oh shit, why didn't I like this movie?"
And I'll be like, "What the hell? This sucks." Yeah, The Fetus, new poster's cool. Lauren Rivera, Bill Moseley. Let's see. And next month, we're gonna have the return of Music of the Month, and it's gonna be
very good.
Sexorama. They send us their album to play on the show.
The soundtrack for your dirty mind.
That'd be good. Richard Rapphorst, who's been on the show, he did what was the Frankenstein Nazi movie?
Oh God.
With Dr. Frankenstein.
Yeah.
Where Dr. Frankenstein works with the Frankenstein's Army.
Yeah, yep. That was the one I liked. Then there was that other one that I didn't like.
Yeah, Dead Snow is kind of a letdown.
Well, what was the one? Remember, was like kind of a big blockbustery kind of movie.
Oh yeah, that one sucked.
Yeah, that one was just really depressing.
Yeah. And like for me, like I look over a lot of stuff on an indie movie, but when a movie's costing like $100 million, like it's. So anyway, he started his own production company, The Mad Scientists, and they're bringing their new film, Children of the Moor, to Cannes. And here's a still from it. Look at it. Looks pretty fucking awesome.
Whoa. Oh, I kind of love that look.
Yeah, that's
great. All right,
I'm
down. I'm definitely down.
That's rules.
That looks like something straight from like, you know, an animated thing or like a comic book or something. I love that.
Yeah, that looks wild. So that's very exciting. We're going to be doing some stuff with the B Stream coming up. It's a new platform for classic cult classic horror films in modern B movie films. So that should be fun.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to that.
We're going to offer some discounts for folks.
That's always cool. We like our discounts.
Yes, movie and music reviews. Happy late birthday, Neil. Well, thank you. Appreciate that. 49. It's the last year of my 40s. Old man. So Dead of Winter was last weekend.
Oh,
that was a really good time.
How was that? Tell us about that.
Oh yeah, so it was great.
I even
so,
catch some live streaming of some games being played.
Yeah, we did some live. Yeah, we played
card
some
games.
Yeah, we played Flux. We played Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the board game. They had panels. I returned to the panels. I hosted the 40th anniversary panel for the Toxic Avenger, which was great.
That's awesome.
Really happy to do that. That was a good time.
Was it all four of the people that we had?
Yeah, plus Cynthia. So
very
so
good.
it was all four of the punks and Melvin.
Did you hit your normal panel joke with the
I
crowd?
did not.
No.
Actually, now you mentioned it. For people
I
who
thought
don't
bring back
know,
the classics there.
Yeah, it'd be like you with the black shirt.
Yeah,
I didn't even ask.
The audience for a
You
question.
know, not everyone had black shirts.
Ah, good. Good. It's time to break that trend.
Yeah, the joke wouldn't have made sense, I guess. That's why I didn't do it. Saw a bunch of shorts. That's always fun. Met AJ Cutler. I met him before, but he's a good friend of ours. He'll be making Our Man Funk, is going to help edit Arbor Day.
Nice.
He's cool. We met Craig Lindbergh.
Oh, awesome.
He came out for a day, him and his son.
Very good.
Adam Newman was there, multiple time guest on the show. James Lamont, who runs it. Lots of cool people. It was a really good time. I recommend it. It's got a great community vibe. It's all New England horror.
That's pretty awesome for only their second year doing it. So
Yeah.
this might be something we look forward to for years to come.
Yeah, so you have to come out sometime. Don't be a bum.
True.
Joe Souza, who runs Monster Expo, he invited us to the big Monster Expo. I think it's in Nashua, New Hampshire.
Oh, okay.
Coming up this summer, so we might do that. That'll be a good time.
That sounds like fun.
Next week is Mad Monster Atlanta, and we were going to be there, but unfortunately, we had to cancel because flights are very, very expensive.
Understandable.
So it just didn't really make a lot of sense, but it's too bad because it would. I haven't been to Mad Monster in a long time, but the plan now is we're going to finish the campaign for Arbor Day. We want to do a meeting this weekend, then finish it up next weekend since Annabelle already has the weekend off because we're going to go to Atlanta. Instead, we'll finish the Arbor Day crowdfunder so we can get that
very nice
up and running. So people can help us make Arbor Day.
Help us.
Yes. Got the new flyers. They're pretty sweet.
I love them. The crazy looking bastard on the front of that. Whoa. Those are some pretty people.
Mm-hmm.
I like them.
Boom. It's a good time. So I'm going to do a live show tomorrow with Adam Marcus, the creator of, some say, the greatest Friday the 13th film of all time, Jason Goes to Hell.
Sounds good.
Talking about his documentaries that's been decades in the making. Hearts of Darkness, the making of the Final Friday. From what I understand, like they talked to some people who love the movie, some people who hate the movie, and you get to understand, how it can be. But anyway, I'm looking forward to that. That'll be on here. So subscribe, hit the like button. Hit that bell icon so you get a notification every time we go live. And if you would like to help support the channel, you become a member for only $3 a month. Can't beat that. $3 a month. Help support the show. That's the way you do it.
So that was my Atlas pantomime there.
And then next week will be, I believe the plan is, it's not been finalized who, but the plan is we're going to be doing a show about Trash's Revenge, which is an indirect, I don't know if they call it a sequel. I believe they call it In Their Return of the Living Dead universe.
Oh, okay.
It is created by Linnea Quigley and Beverly Randolph, and Tom Matthews is in it.
That's
So
awesome.
the original cast of Return of the Living Dead is involved. So
I'm down with that.
Fucking fantastic. Not bad, you guys. Thanks so much. Well, thank you, Movie and Music Reviews. Good to hear that. All right. Anything else? I know we're down one person this week, so probably not. It's going to be a super long show. And like I said, we'll do another one tomorrow. I'll do another one tomorrow. I don't know if you'll be there. You're welcome to come along if you like. But
well,
I believe you have to do some car stuff.
I got automotive things to do, but if I am in the vicinity, I will be there.
All right. Well, that sounds good. All right. Well, until next week, this is Nasty Neil.
And that would make me Terrible Troy.
And that was Zac Amico.
Indeed it was.
Help our man Funk. I believe the campaign only has like a week or so left, so help that out. A lot of cool people involved, like myself. Well, I'm not necessarily cool, but I'm involved. But Zac Amico, AJ Cutler,
bunch of cool cats.
Michael J. Epstein, Bill Whedon, Lisa Gay, lots of good folks. Billy Coyne. Well, so we also met Billy Coyne at Dead of Winter. He's going to play one of the punks and really great effects artist.
Yeah, his stuff looked pretty amazing. So,
thank you. What a show. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. A lot of people were chatting on the Facebook, which we love if you watch wherever you watch it. But a lot of the messages I can't pop up on here. So if you would like us to do a little more interaction, please go to the YouTube to chat. It's a lot easier for us to see. But we do appreciate you watching wherever it is.
Yep.
But
we love y'all.
Subscribe on YouTube.
Subscribe.
All right. So I don't know. I might start dressing up on the show. What do you think?
I like it. You look very dapper. You're giving me that like Vincent Price vibe.
All right. I like it.
Kind of like House on Haunted Hill Price right there.
Yeah, I kind of liked it.
Thin mustache.
At Dead of Winter, I thought, you know what? I might start doing this.
Yep. Although your old stuff you could probably cut in half and like, you know.
Yeah, I don't. The thing
you
is,
could make two shirts out of one shirt.
I only have 2 dress shirts now because all my other ones are too big. So I might have to get a couple more, or just mix them up with some cool ties and vests.
Oh yeah, true. Some vests, yeah. We'll look around, find you some neat old Keen vests. Need one with the Abominable Dr. Fibes on it.
That would be sweet. If anybody out there can hook me up with cool vests or ties.
Yep. Maybe like a little pocket handkerchief.
Yeah, exactly. Got the Bozo button here. Gary Schneider.
Of course, Neil's not wearing any pants, but no one needs
I'm
to.
actually wearing, this. So I got the vest, I got the dress shirt, I got the tie with the double Windsor, got the top hat, and I'm actually, I don't think I could show them here, but I'm not that I shouldn't. I just don't have the room here. I'm actually wearing these furry teacup pants.
Nice. That's awesome.
My pajama pants. So. Yeah, we're business up front and lounge below. It's kind of like a mullet, but in clothes. It's the mullet of clothes.
I like it. I like it. That works.
Yeah. All right, so we're gonna take off here until next week. This is Nasty Neil.
Terrible Troy.
This is Without
Your
Head.
Mwah!